Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. My name is Mark Lin. Namaskar. Welcome to this special Diwali session. Let's begin with the headlines. India's Prime Minister spends yet another Diwali with soldiers guarding India's borders, this time in Lepcha, Himachal Pradesh. Calls them guardians of the nation who illuminate lives. People across the world and from different backgrounds celebrate the inclusive diversity of Diwali, a global festival. Indian stock markets welcome the new year, Samvat 2080 in Muhurat trading. On Diwali, the Sensex closes up by 351 points. And India's middle order thrilled spectators at Bengaluru. Against the Netherlands, Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul hit centuries. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Lepcha in Himachal Pradesh, and this is to celebrate Diwali with the Indian soldiers. Addressing the Jawans there, or the soldiers, the Prime Minister hailed the brave soldiers for their courage in protecting the nation. The Prime Minister highlighted key achievements during the last 1 year.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi continued with his tradition of spending Diwali with soldiers. On Sunday, Prime Minister visited Lepcha in Himachal Pradesh to celebrate Diwali with Indian soldiers. The Prime Minister termed it as an experience filled with deep emotion and pride.
मैंने कोई दिवाली ऐसी नहीं है जो आप सबके बीच जाकर के न मनाई हो। 30-35 साल हो गए जब पीएम नहीं था, सीएम नहीं था, तब भी एक गर्व से भरे भारत के संतान के नाते मैं दिवाली पर किसी न किसी बॉर्डर पर जरूर जाता था.
Prime Minister said that the past year has been a milestone year in nation building. Some of the key achievements since last Diwali include Chandrayaan landing, Aditya L1 mission, indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, Tumkur helicopter factory, sporting achievements at the Asian Games. Other achievements include Parliament building, women's reservation law, G20 biofuel alliance, preeminence in real-time payment in the world, crossing $4 billion in exports, becoming the 5th biggest economy in the world, strides in 5G rollout. Besides, India became the country with the world's 2nd largest road network, while the longest river cruise service and rapid rail service, Nammo Bharat, were launched during the last 1 year. 2 world-class convention centers have been set up in Delhi, Bharat Mandapam and Yashobhumi. The University Shanti Niketan and the Hoysala Temple Complex were included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Prime Minister stressed that the Indian Army is continuously becoming more modern and India will no longer look towards other countries in times of need in the near future. Hailing the courage of security forces, the Prime Minister said that their sacrifice and dedication keep us safe and secure.
ये बहुत जरूरी है कि भारत की सीमाएं सुरक्षित रहें, देश में शांति का वातावरण बना रहे और इसमें आपकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है. भारत तब तक सुरक्षित है जब तक इसकी सीमाओं पर हिमालय की तरह अटल और अड़ीग ये मेरे जांबाज साथी खड़े.
Since taking office in 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been celebrating Diwali with Jawans. In 2014, he had celebrated Diwali with security forces in Siachen. Fuzail Ahmed's report for DD India.
Urging all to spread joy and amongst the poor and the needy, the Indian President Draupadi Murmu extended Diwali greetings to fellow citizens living in India and abroad. In her message, the President has said, and I quote, "On the auspicious occasion of Deepawali, I extend my warm greetings and best wishes to all fellow citizens living in India and abroad." Deepawali is a festival of joy and happiness. It is celebrated to mark the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and justice over injustice. People of different religions and faiths celebrate this festival and spread the message of love, brotherhood, and harmony. This festival is a symbol of kindness, positivity, and prosperity. The festival of Deepawali illuminates our conscience and inspires us to work for the welfare of humanity. One lamp can light up many others. In the same manner, we can bring happiness and prosperity in the lives of the poor and needy by sharing our joys with them. Let us all celebrate the Festival of Lights safely and take a pledge for nation building by contributing in the conservation of environment. Well, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is celebrated all across the country. It symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. Here's DD India's Sujata Lochab with the report.
India, the land of festivals, where the vibrant and celebratory spirit of the country is beautifully expressed through its diverse festivities. One such celebration is Diwali, also known as Deepawali, the festival of lights, colors, and cuisine. Diwali is a lunar calendar-based event that occurs from mid-October to mid-November. Apart from Hindus, Diwali is also celebrated by Sikh and Jain communities. For some North Indian communities, Diwali signifies the beginning of New Year. It symbolizes the triumph of good over evil, with origins tracing back to Lord Ram's return to Ayodhya after defeating demon king Ravan. This day holds a special place for Ayodhya, one of the holy cities in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, as Lord Ram's birthplace. Entire nation is eagerly waiting for the completion of the magnificent Ram temple that is under construction there. Though people start preparing a month in advance, the actual festivities start from Dhanteras, a day when people purchase new things they believe will bring prosperity and good luck. Second day is called Naraka Chaturdashi, named so since it is celebrated on the 14th day of the lunar cycle. The third day, when the entire nation immerses in vibrant festivities, from making colorful rangolis to decorating homes with blinking lights and earthen lamps. The entire nation adorns a new look on the moonless night of Diwali. After Govardhan Puja on the fourth day, the 5-day festival culminates with Bhai Dooj, a celebration of sibling bonds. Diwali is now not limited to physical borders. With India's expatriate community, the festival is spreading the lights of India's cultural heritage across the globe.
And the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has extended his greetings on Diwali to the Indian community.
Namaste. On behalf of the government and the people of South Africa, I offer my good wishes to the Hindu community as it celebrates Diwali, the Festival of Lights. As a nation of many cultures and faiths, we have a deep appreciation of the importance of Diwali to members of the Hindu faith. Diwali is a celebration of the triumph of light over darkness.
And the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese also extended Diwali greetings to people celebrating the Festival of Lights. Australia's High Commissioner to India has extended Diwali greetings as well.
आप सबको दिवाली की Shobham Naye. On behalf of all of us here at the High Commission, to all of you, to your families, to your communities, to your neighbourhoods, we wish you the most joyous, happy and prosperous Festival of Light.
And the ambassador of Japan to India, Hiroshi Suzuki, extended Diwali greetings along with his wife.
Diwali.
Well, from New York to Dubai, the Festival of Lights, Diwali, has brought together friends and families. Let's take a look at this report on the global aspects of Diwali.
Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is being celebrated across the world. In Dubai, lights adorned homes and fireworks lit up the skies. The festival brought together various communities who participated in the celebrations. In Sri Lanka's Colombo, the Indian Cultural Association organized events which included an animation on the Ramayana. In Nepal, the Festival of Lights is called Tihar. On this day, devotees fed ravens to appease the god of death. People also thronged markets to get their favorite sweets such as barfi and laddu. Diwali celebrations also took place in the US city of New York.
I didn't realize that there is a Diwali celebration like over here, so we just get to feel a little bit like home over here.
You want to be represented, but you want to share that. You don't want that in a bubble or in a silo where it's just so isolated, especially when it's such an inclusive and warm culture. So I think it helps people to understand more about who we are, where we come from, what we celebrate, and to be a part of it.
Revelers flocked to the Manhattan waterfront to mark the festival with dance, decorations and rangoli. In the UK, special Diwali events were held at the University of Bristol, which is home to hundreds of Indian students.
It's not just Diwali, but it's every Indian festival here. The thing is, when you're in India, you don't know the importance of your culture, but when you travel so far, you get to know how important it is to stick to your roots and remember the good memories. You start missing your family, and this is one way to create a family here.
Well, on the occasion of Diwali, the Indian stock markets witnessed impressive gains during the Muhurat trading session on Sunday, and during the 1 hour of symbolic trading. Trading took place across various segments such as equities, commodities, derivatives, also currency derivatives and securities. The Sensex and the Nifty recorded one of their best Muhurat trading sessions in recent years. The BSE Sensex jumped 351 points. It closed at 65,259, and the Nifty also advanced about 100 points and settled at 19,525. And DD India correspondent Shama Mishra was there, and she spoke to the National Stock Exchange's MD and CEO Ashish Kumar Chauhan on the occasion.
How's the the josh of the investors, the traders, and how do you see the trading session going on?
Thank you. I would like to wish the very best of Diwali and also the Gujarati New Year that is starting from tomorrow to all the viewers of Doordarshan. In a way, Muhurat trading has a significance that Diwali is the biggest festival of India. It's in all our brokers across India, wherever they are, they worship Goddess Lakshmi today, and of course call their investors, have sweets with them, but also do some symbolic trade, because today is also the last day of the Gujarati financial year, which used to happen olden days. It's called Vikram Samvat.
A lot of youth have come into the markets as investors. What would you tell them? And as a point for awareness creation, what would you tell them?
In a way, stock markets over the last 30 years have given the best returns compared to gold or silver or real estate or any other asset class. And if you think that India is going to grow better than in the past or similar over the next 30-50 years, then naturally the stock markets will give you better returns. But they also, when you invest in stocks, you also invest in India. And also job creation, so more jobs get created and more of those people come and invest in the markets, and so it's a virtuous cycle you create. And that's where, for me, investment is a very important activity for any economy.
Right. Thank you very much for talking to us, sir. So a very good point said there. The world is looking towards India and India is looking towards India. With camera person Gaurav Kagra, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Mumbai.
Well, still to come here on DD India News Hour. Israel-Hamas conflict continues to deepen. Russia and Ukraine continue to launch counter-offensives against each other. And Ayodhya sets a record by lighting over 2.2 million lamps on the riverfront.
A platform for the developing world, amplifying the voice of the Global South with a focus on the growing economies, resolving the conflicts, showcasing the culture, tradition, heritage and diversity. Watch Voice of the Global South at these times on DD India.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and...
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. And Tapas Bhattacharya, our correspondent, is now joining us from the streets of Delhi. He's been moving around and, seeing what how celebrations are going on. Tapas, so how is Delhi celebrating Diwali?
Well, Mark, let me just give you the exact picture. Let me show you how they are celebrating. They are using the sky lanterns. Yeah, we mentioned earlier that it is, the Supreme Court of India has banned the usage of firecrackers. So how do you celebrate Diwali? It's a festival of lights. You use sky lanterns, and that's how you see all these people out here. They have come in large numbers. They've come here in Connaught Place. It's called the heart of Delhi. And they have come here and they are now using sky lanterns in big way to celebrate this festival of light. It's a huge crowd out here in Connaught Place. They just come here, and a lot of people are coming here from outside other places also. Remember, by now most of the people have finished their puja, they are worshipping, and now they are trying to relax, they are trying to chill out, and now coming here in numbers to celebrate this festival of light. Mark.
Indeed, and it is an auspicious day where people look for prosperity, for success, light clearing the darkness. In this context, what are people hoping for in this Diwali? What would you think?
There are a couple of things that people should be wary of. In fact, they must be thinking, by tomorrow, the weather should be good enough to bring Diwali. The last couple of weeks have been pretty difficult for Delhiites. They struggle a lot with the smog condition prevailing not just over Delhi but all over the NCR region. The AQI level going over 400 many days. So they will be hoping that it doesn't happen again. That it will be the first, and obviously they want India to become a developed nation, and with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading from the front, showing the way forward with the way forward, and they will hope that they also contribute with the local for vocal as well as Make in India initiative that the government has started, and take India.
Well, Tapas, we seem to be having a bad connection with you, but perhaps you can also show us a bit of what is going on around you, and you did show us a bit of those lanterns.
We'd
like to see some of the lanterns as well. Yeah.
I show you how people are decking up. The people are coming here. It's they're coming in their traditional clothes. It's a festival time, and then people want to look good in their traditional attire. They're coming out and they're showing you those sky lanterns that's going up, and you see the sky lantern going up, and it's give you quite a bit of a goosebump also, for the simple reason that light is going up amidst this dark pitch sky. And everybody out here enjoying, and as I mentioned, the people are enjoying. They're having a good time out here. They are coming out in large number, and they're working on. They're showing their traditional attire at the same time. So this is what Diwali is like. In fact, this is a small place. Most of the big society will find even more enthusiasm. Right. They're more concerned with that. But even many of the temples, they will be working a whole night. The puja, the worshipping goes on for a long period of time. So people throng at those places of worshipping and pay their pray to the Lord Almighty for their well-being of their family and their near and dear ones. Ma.
Okay, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Tapas Bhattacharya, and happy Diwali to you. And the Israel-Hamas conflict continues to deepen. The Israel Defense Forces, they've said that they're going to be helping in the evacuation of babies from the Gaza hospital. The Israeli army has said that it struck militants in Lebanon. In Lebanon, those militants were planning to fire rockets at Israel. Let's look at this report.
It's day 38. The fighting between Israeli Defense Forces and Hamas is becoming fierce. The Israeli military says it will help evacuate babies trapped in Al-Shifa hospital, the largest hospital in Gaza.
The east side of the hospital is open on El Wade Street for the safe pass of Gazans who wish to leave the hospital. We're speaking directly and regularly with the hospital staff. The staff of the Shifa hospital has requested that tomorrow we will help the babies in the pediatric department to get to a safer hospital. We will provide the assistance needed.
The Rafah crossing into Egypt has reopened on Sunday for foreign passport holders. Jordan airdropped medical aid into a field hospital in Gaza in coordination with UAE and Qatar. Saudi Arabia held Joint Islamic Arab Summit in Riyadh to discuss the conflict in the Middle East. The Arab countries called for an immediate end to military operations in Gaza. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated that Israel will take control of security in Gaza for an indefinite period.
We won't stop until the mission is completed. The war against Hamas ISIS is progressing in full swing. Israeli forces have completed the encircling of the Gaza Strip. They are now working inside the city outskirts of Al-Shifa hospital. They killed 2,000 terrorists, including senior commanders who led this terrible massacre on October 7.
While Israel is fighting Hamas in Gaza, it's Hezbollah which launched attack along the Lebanon border. The Israeli Defense Force is on high alert on the northern front. Hamas has taken more than 200 people hostage. It's over a month. Families are anxious. Thousands of protesters rallied in Tel Aviv calling for the release of the hostages. Habima Square in central Tel Aviv is lit up as mark of support for hostages held by Hamas. The Israel-Gaza conflict is worsening with each passing day. Thousands of lives have been lost in the conflict. West Asia is on the brink of a major crisis. Abhishek Bose for DD India.
And Saudi Arabia hosted an Arab Islamic summit in Riyadh. The leaders from 57 Muslim countries were present, and they called for an end to the war in Gaza, to the conflict in Gaza. The leaders questioned the integrity of the UN Security Council and the international community for their failure to prevent this conflict. They also raised the demand for the immediate cessation of military operations in Gaza.
In this regard, we reiterate our demands for an immediate halt to military operations, for the provision of humanitarian corridor to aid civilians, and for enabling international humanitarian organizations to perform their role.
The London police have arrested dozens of people as counter-protesters targeted pro-Palestinian demonstrations in the British capital. The pro-Palestinian demonstrators called for a ceasefire in Gaza, but the march was criticized for being disrespectful by the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak because it took place on Armistice Day, when the British remember the war heroes. Ollie Barrett reports.
A huge policing operation underway in London throughout the course of this whole weekend. That's because it's Remembrance Weekend here in the UK, when Britain remembers its war dead. And indeed, the march taking place on Saturday, the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had called disrespectful for that very reason. The protesters have made sure that they have come in this direction on their march, staying away from the Cenotaph, which is the war memorial in the centre of London that is a focus of this weekend's remembrance events. And the organisers of this march have always said that they would not try and disrupt any kind of remembrance events over the weekend. But it's been very controversial for that reason. The government has been very much in a row with the police about exactly how to police this demonstration and counter-protests and counter-demonstrations. Indeed, dozens of arrests have been made by police. There have been nearly 2,000 police officers on duty on Saturday. There will be well over 1,000 police officers on duty again on Sunday, as officers deal with what they said was likely to be a very difficult weekend, trying to keep various different protests apart, trying as much as possible to avoid disorder. And Rishi Sunak, as I say, the UK Prime Minister, insisting that this march was wrong to even take place in the first place. Ollie Barrett in London, reporting for DD India.
Still to come here on DD India News Hour, we're going to be discussing the wider significance of the many representations of Diwali. And meet Itzi. She means gift from God in the Mayan language, and she's an albino puma cub. India is celebrating Public Service Broadcasting Day.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Let's give you a recap of our main stories. India's Prime Minister spends yet another Diwali with soldiers guarding India's borders, this time in Lepcha in Himachal Pradesh. He calls them guardians of the nation who illuminate lives. People across the world and from different backgrounds celebrate the inclusive diversity of Diwali, a global festival. Indian stock markets welcome the new year, Samvat 2080, in Muhurat trading. On Diwali, the Sensex closes up by 355 points. And we are joined by Professor Makhan Lal, who's a historian and writer. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. We're going to be discussing about the wider aspects of Diwali, how it's a global festival. Professor Makhan Lal, you know, India is a multicultural country. We all know that. So to what extent does Diwali act like a festival that appeals to all across the country?
Thank you very much, Mark. First of all, my best wishes.
Yes.
For a very happy Diwali to all the countrymen and also all the viewers around the world watching your channel. Diwali is symbolically very important in Hindu festivals for very simple reason. It symbolizes both the Dussehra and Diwali combined symbolizes victory of best, which is in the you can say in the context of humanity over the evil.
Okay.
And this is where it becomes very important for entire world to accept that evil is something that has to be conquered, that has to be destroyed. And Deepavali consists not of just one day. There are a combination of 5 days of Deepavali. And if you look at carefully, all the 5 days, it has all different meanings.
Yes.
And all together, when they are put, they simply celebrate one very simple thing: victory of beauty, beauty of honesty, beauty of truth over the evil. And definitely, when you think in terms of concept, not just thinking in terms of Hindu festival, in terms of concept, when you think which part of humanity, which religion will deny that this is not applicable on everybody.
Sure.
This is acceptable for everybody because there is nobody, no religion, no faith, no sect, which will say it will need not to be destroyed.
Okay. Let me come in on that point of beauty that you mentioned, Professor Makhan Lal. There, you know, there's beauty in Diwali, especially in the lights. So how appealing is this to a global audience? We just saw the record being broken in Ayodhya of 2.2 million diyas on the river Saryu.
Yeah. The fact is there are more than 40 countries where Diwali is celebrated officially. All over those countries. Let it be Fiji, let it be Mauritius, let it be Thailand, let it be Bali, let it be Indonesia, Malaysia. And I'm very happy, and I'm sure that you also know and your ideas know, that USA has declared 12th federal holiday, that is Diwali. It's not a small acceptance of the festival, of the concept that truth and beauty has to triumph over the evil. This is something very important. This is something very important, that USA should declare 12th federal holiday. And also, light is something, after all, Rigved said, lead us from dark to light us.
Yes, absolutely. Right, Professor Makhanlal, Indians also are holding important positions, in different parts of the world. As a global festival, Diwali, is celebrated in the echelons of power, both in the UK and in the US. You mentioned about it being a holiday. To what extent is this creating an impact, that Indians hold important positions across the world?
Okay. Very beautiful question you have put, and very relevant. Today, India's importance can be understood not only in terms of economic factors, not only in terms of India's effort to bring the global peace, but also civilizational values, whether it is Diwali, whether it is yoga, whether it is ahimsa. These are part of our civilizational ethos. No part in Indian cultural civilization advances any kind of war, any kind of violence, any kind of victory over others just for the sake of victory. And Indian civilization has always equated, if you want to win, if you want to triumph over the evil. And that is where, whether it is yoga, whether it is ahimsa, whether it is Diwali, these are all core concepts of Hindu civilizational values, and it's very heartening, it's very great thing to realize that these are being accepted worldwide.
Yes.
And that is how slowly the acceptance comes up.
Sure. Diwali is also featured, Professor Makhanlal, in these famous series on streaming platforms, whether, people, Indians abroad, playing a part there. And Diwali is talked about and it's celebrated. So that also, is beamed across the world in different platforms. And that is that also a recognition of Diwali being global already, or does it help in taking Diwali to the rest of the world?
Both.
Both.
Both ways. And actually, we must recognize that Indian diaspora has done a great service popularizing Diwali or yoga or various other things, because they have been deeply rooted in their cultural values and civilization values. So they may have been living for hundreds of years in different countries, but the fact they continue to practice Hinduism, they continue to celebrate Hindu values, they continue to celebrate Hindu festivals, that makes all over the world people to see what does it symbolizes, what does it mean in larger context. And when they find it is not just the Hindu values, it is not just the Indian celebration, it is not just the Indian festival, but it has a larger meaning in terms of humanity, in terms of overall human population, in terms of overall human existence.
Yes.
So everybody slowly comes to adopt it. After all, yoga was thought to be just Indian.
Yes.
But the moment everyone realizes the yoga has done to do a lot with mental as well as physical health.
Sure.
It's to be accepted around.
Right. We've run short of time, but a last word on, this, what message does the Festival of Lights give, in terms of India's soft power in diplomacy, because it has been accepted as a global festival, and that also is a sign of India's recognition.
The best thing that can happen and best thing that humanity can do and the world can do to recognize this, let the light be always in everyone's life, and see to it life is not extinguished, light is not extinguished even from one small individual. What to say of people, country, or civilization. Light should continue with the smallest to smallest human being and lead him from darkness to light.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Professor Makkan Lal, and a happy Diwali to you. Thank you for joining us. Well, India celebrates Public Service Broadcasting Day today as well. It marks the occasion when Mahatma Gandhi gave a speech, in fact. The function was organized at the premises of the Indian Broadcasting House in Akashwani Bhavan in the national capital in Delhi. 76 years ago, on the 12th of November, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, as I said, for the first time visited the studios of the Indian public radio broadcaster. It was known as the All India Radio at the time, Akashwani. So in a first live broadcast from that studio, Mahatma Gandhi addressed more than 250,000 displaced people who had temporarily settled in the northern Indian city of Kurukshetra after the partition. So today it also falls on Diwali. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Yonaguni in Japan's westernmost island. It's located at around 68 miles from Taiwan, and Yonaguni is also closer to Manila and Hong Kong than it is to Tokyo. It's in fact more than 2,000 kilometers away. So around 200 town officials and SDF troops participated in an exercise on the island. Migrants continued to cross into the U.S. from Mexico on Saturday. They did so through an open edge of the border wall in Jacumba Hot Springs in California. It's a makeshift camp, and it has seen migrants pass by in the eastern San Diego desert, where they wait to be processed by the Border Patrol officials. And this albino puma has become the center of attraction at the Thomas Belt Zoo in Nicaragua's Juagalpa, which is in Central America. So what's happened is that she's almost 4 months old, and we said that she's been named Itzi. It's Mayan for gift from God. Thousands of people they've staged anti-government protests in Honduras against President Castro. The protesters were angered by attempts to engineer what they claim is an unconstitutional power grab. They've been supported by opposition parties. There are around 10,000 people who gathered in the capital, Tegucigalpa. It's a peaceful march. Well, still to come here on DD India News Hour. The Indian batters delight the Bengaluru crowd with 410 runs in 50 overs against the Netherlands. And India wins the match. Well, Kabaddi is picking up in Tanzania. And Ronaldo leads the Al Nassr team to a 3-1 win over Al Wahda.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
You're watching DD India News Hour. My name is Mark Lynn. And let's get you the sports news now. Well, in cricket, India have defeated the Netherlands at the Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru in the last league match of the World Cup. Chasing a mammoth 411 runs to win, the Dutch batsman could only reach 250 runs at 47.5 overs. For the Netherlands, Teja Nidamanuru scored 54 runs and Sijbrand Engelbrecht scored 45 runs. Earlier, opting to bat first, the Indians were off to a great start. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill smashed quick-fire half-centuries. Virat Kohli then also followed with a classy knock of 51. But it was Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul who stitched together a 208-run partnership for the fourth wicket, taking the men in blue to 410 runs for the loss of 4 wickets, which is their highest total in this edition of the World Cup. Shreyas Iyer smashed an unbeaten 128 and KL Rahul scored 102 and fell 1 ball short of the 50 overs. But for the Netherlands, Basile Died took 2 wickets. So Anil Thomas is joining us from Bengaluru. Well, Anil, India has maintained that winning streak, 9 wins out of 9. Also, you know, among the 4 teams that are in the semi-finals, 3 of them have scored over 400, and India is now included in that. Australia just almost there. They had scored 399. What do you make of, you know, what can we expect from the semi-finals?
Well, good evening, Mark. Happy Diwali to all viewers there. It's a great moment for Team India, 9 out of 9. Before we get into the deliberations, I've got few cricket fans there with me, all excited after this win. What's your take on the win?
It was a clinical performance by everybody, especially by Shreyas Iyer and our homeboy KL Rahul. We feel very good to see our homeboy play such a good innings here at home. And also, what a game, because we got to see Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma take the wickets, and it's like nothing like before, and very good, top-notch performance by the team. And we're excited to see such a performance right before the big game. Okay. So we're excited for the next week.
What's your take on the win?
It was an amazing performance by everybody, and the crazy fact is, everybody bowled today, and Virat got wicket, and it was very amazing, and we were expecting that Virat will bat, but it's okay. We have come to see Virat. We'll be waiting this time when IPL comes. So we have a slogan that is called Isala Cup Namde. We'll be coming once again for this stadium for RCB.
What's your take on the win?
It was a fantastic match, unbelievable. It's a very good way ending the series and going to the semi-finals. We're waiting for the New Zealand to kick them left and right.
Okay. 9 out of 9, how do you see this win? What's special?
It was my first World Cup in stadium. I feel so happy.
Okay. Okay. So the excitement is very much there, and you know, 9 out of 9 wins. We are all ready for New Zealand. All, as you mentioned, all teams that have scored beyond 400 in this particular World Cup. But remember, it's a semi-final, Wankhede and Eden Gardens. Both support the team bowling second, you know, for 1 hour, and that's going to be a difficult task for either of the captains from all the 4 sides. So it's going to be an exciting contest between bat and ball. All what is done till now will be wiped out as the 4 teams enter the semi-final. It's another 100 overs of action, 200 overs of action that you see to decide the finalists. But it's going to be, you know, any team on that day would walk away into the final.
Right, and if we look... Well, clearly the support is for India. Clearly the support is for India, but, you know, Anil, Australia too has been playing really well, winning 7 games in a row, and Glenn Maxwell at 200, and then Mitchell Marsh at 177. So this is going to be a really tough, you know, the semi-final stage. This is really serious stuff, isn't it?
Well, you're bang on. Australians are just getting started. After the 2 early losses, they bounced back to pick 7 wins together. Glenn Maxwell in red out form. Mitchell Marsh coming back much stronger. We've got David Warner, who's had a century behind him in this particular edition. But let's not forget the Indian team. If you look at Indian batters today, all 5 batters managed to get a half century. 2 went on to get centuries. So Indian batting too looks in perfect in perfect form in this particular edition. Remember, as I mentioned, both the wickets there. You know, any team batting second is going to feel the heat. But, you know, all teams, even for that matter, New Zealand, the way they have come back, 4 wins, 4 losses, bouncing back in the 9th match to book their ticket. All teams look solid, you know, but my heart goes out to see South Africa versus India final. Both teams deserve to be there. Both teams have been good, and it'll be great, entertaining cricket that you see when India and South Africa meet. because it's going to be the best of batsmen taking on the best of bowlers.
Well, a final word about, the New Zealand side. They also have a Bangalore boy there in Rachin Ravindra. His parents hail from Bangalore and his grandparents live there. So in this context, there may be a little bit of Karnataka in the New Zealand team as well.
Well, very true. New Zealand have been clinical in the way they've started. If you look at the New Zealand journey, most of the World Cup, the captain's absence did not make much of a difference to the team. Kane Williamson has come to the party and he comes to the party good. And Kane Williamson is a shrewd captain. If you look at the difference between India and New Zealand try and execute as much as they plan in the dressing room, on the cricketing field. They don't have big players, big names like the Indian superstars are. But they come together as a unit and play on important, crucial days. In the last edition, they came, pretty close to lifting the World Cup. They missed it by a whisker to England. So they are looking for, getting another shot at redemption.
Right.
But India too is in a great position. If you look at the way Indians have played, Indians have gone about, they have been pretty strong in this tournament. 9 wins out of 9 matches. No team is going to take them lightly. And look at the length and breadth of the country that this team has traveled. They have not got an opportunity to play in one particular city or in one particular zone, back-to-back matches. So it's been a lot of travel that Team India has done. And to come good with such performance. And, Rahul Dravid's idea of not changing the winning combination, going on for a 5th straight match to keep that same combination going, clearly talks about a settled team, a settled unit there heading into the semi-finals.
Absolutely. We leave it there. Thank you very much, Anil Thomas, for putting it into context. India's win, 9 out of 9, and set it up nicely now for the quarterfinals next week. For the semi-finals next week. Well, the twice World Cup winner Megan Rapinoe's final professional appearance came to a crushing early end as the OL Reign veteran exited the National Women's Soccer League Championship in the 3rd minute on Saturday with an injury. The showdown between OL Reign and Gotham FC was highly anticipated as an emotional farewell for the 2019 Ballon d'Or winner and her former US women's national teammate Ali Krieger. But the retirement party came to an abrupt end as Rapinoe went down with an apparent non-contact injury, grasping at her right calf before limping off the field as the fans at the San Diego Snapdragon Stadium gave her a standing ovation. Talking about the match, the Spanish striker Esther Gonzalez headed in the winner to secure Gotham FC's first National Women's Soccer League Championship title, 2-1 over OL Reign. And led by Cristiano Ronaldo, Al Nassr beat Al Wahda 3-1 in the Saudi Pro League on Saturday. Alex Telles was first on the board for the Knights of Najd. They scored off a spectacular free kick just 11 minutes into the match. It was the former Manchester United defender's first goal in the SPL. Marcelo Brozovic then set up an Abdullah El Amri, who headed in a perfect cross to double their lead in the 40th minute. It was Ronaldo's turn at the start of the second half, with the forward taking advantage of a mistake by the Al Wahda defense to get in the board for the second consecutive match. Well, a decade ago, Kabaddi was virtually unknown in Tanzania, but the sport is now picking up. It's seen some unprecedented growth. It was established with the support of the Indian embassy there, and the nation's Kabaddi Association is working hard to let the sport grow, and India is playing a pretty big role in that. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a telephonic conversation with the Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. This is over an incident of the collapse of an under-construction tunnel in the Indian state of Uttarakhand. Sharing details about his conversation on the social media platform X, the Uttarakhand Chief Minister said that he gave detailed information about the rescue operation conducted so far to get the workers out safely. He said that the Prime Minister had assured of all possible help to deal with it. Early on Saturday night, a section of the under-construction tunnel on the Brahmakhal Yamunotri National Highway collapsed, trapping approximately 36 workers inside. Rescue operations were underway at the tunnel to get the trapped workers out safely. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. You can also, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India News Hour. From all of us here at DD India News Hour, namaskar. Thanks for watching and have a happy Diwali.